Hi, I'm Nano Nasty. I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I work primarily in painting, sculpture, and mixed media, including performative practice and photography. I studied environmental design at Stroganoff Academy and later gained my MFA from San Francisco Art Institute. I have synesthesia, and for me it's important that multiple senses are activated at once. I'm interested in images that are not just seen, but could be almost heard or felt physically. My practice is shaped by psychoanalysis and how our subconscious structure our inner experience and affects our memory. In my visual vocabulary, red and blue come up a lot throughout my series. Through tactile practices and recurring motifs such as cracks, waves, and porous textures, I look at the relationship between body and memory. My work sits at the threshold between fragility, force, structure, and instinct. As I grew professionally, I became increasingly interested in analyzing the psychology of perception. For me, working with subconscious isn't about rational decisions. It's about emotional truth that gradually reveals itself through form. Embodiment is equally important because that's where the personal, the collective, and the cultural intersect for me. Even though each narrative begins as something very personal, as I work through it, it becomes almost universal, because as humans we share same feelings of hope, shame, fear, desire, love. And in that sense, art almost becomes like group therapy. Once you see your experiences in lives of others, there becomes less shame and less loneliness. I've always felt limited by one medium, and doing something repeatedly makes me very bored fast. I've always been drawn to combining different forms and using different vocabularies at once. In the past, I also worked with sound. I had audio tracks composed for me by other artists, and we created this immersive installations that would allow the viewer to feel the work through different senses. I also enjoy constructing the painting out of multiple paintings, and by that, the viewer can not only see but also can become a part of the landscape. And in the near future, I really hope to collaborate with some perfume artists. Another important part of my practice is working with used materials and the logic of upcycling. It matters to me to not let materials go to waste. For example, one time I was preparing for an exhibition and I mixed a whole bucket of papier-mâché and very soon realized that the whole bucket would go to waste unless I use it. So I had to create a project incorporating that, not to waste any good material. I mean, there are easier options, but for me it's important to work this way through transformation with what already exists. So it was a pleasure working with you. I think we really aligned in the ways how we communicated, and thank you so much for inviting me. Right now I'm working on a project that visualizes hidden desires. It's a series of paintings where psychology and art merge into one process. For me, it's a space where the inner world becomes visible. My whole practice is about making invisible tangible in a form.